The empires of the future are the empires of the mind. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Success consists of going from failure to failure, without loss of enthusiasm. No one can guarantee success in war, but only deserve it. Or hold discussions with the monkey, when the organ grinder is in the room. Great and good are seldom the same man. It is a fine thing to be honest, but it is also very important to be right. Eating words has never given me indigestion. The first quality that is needed is audacity. No crime is so great as daring to excel. War is mainly a catalogue of blunders. One does not leave a convivial party before closing time. Nothing in life is so exhilarating as to be shot at without result. The price of greatness is responsibility. We shape our buildings. Thereafter they shape us. To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. If you're going through hell, keep going. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. The farther backward you can look, the farther forward you can see. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on. A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. You can always count on Americans to do the right thing, after they've tried everything else. If we open a quarrel between past and present, we shall find that we have lost the future. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. This is no time for ease and comfort. It is time to dare and endure. History is written by the victors. To jaw is always better than to war. The inherent vice of capitalism is the unequal sharing of blessings. The inherent virtue of socialism is the equal sharing of miseries. Kites rise highest against the wind, not with it. An appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile, hoping it will eat him last. A fanatic is one who can't change his mind, and won't change the subject. Solitary trees, if they grow at all, grow strong. Play the game for more than you can afford to lose. Only then will you learn the game. To build may have to be the slow and laborious task of years. To destroy can be the thoughtless act of a single day. This report, by its very length, defends itself against the risk of being read. It is a good thing for an uneducated man to read books of quotations. Criticism may not be agreeable, but it is necessary. It fulfills the same function as pain in the human body. It calls attention to an unhealthy state of things. Let our advanced worrying become advanced thinking and planning. Now this is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end. But it is, perhaps, the end of the beginning. The best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter. You have enemies. Good. That means you've stood up for something, sometime in your life. Never, never, never give up. All the great things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, hope. Socialism is a philosophy of failure, the creed of ignorance, and the gospel of envy. Its inherent virtue is the equal sharing of misery. We are masters of the unsaid words, but slaves of those we let slip out. In wartime, truth is so precious that she should always be attended by a bodyguard of lies. Victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror, victory however long and hard the road may be. For without victory, there is no survival. It is no use saying, "We are doing our best." You have got to succeed in doing what is necessary. Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others. We have always found the Irish a bit odd. They refuse to be English. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Without tradition, art is a flock of sheep without a shepherd. Without innovation, it is a corpse. Politics is not a game. It is an earnest business. True genius resides in the capacity for evaluation of uncertain, hazardous, and conflicting information. Difficulties mastered are opportunities won. India is a geographical term. It is no more a united nation than the equator. There is no such thing as public opinion. There is only published opinion. When you have to kill a man, it costs nothing to be polite. Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. Perhaps it is better to be irresponsible and right than to be responsible and wrong. If you have 10,000 regulations, you destroy all respect for the law. We contend that, for a nation to try to tax itself into prosperity is like a man standing in a bucket and trying to lift himself up by the handle. Those who can win a war well can rarely make a good peace, and those who could make a good peace would never have won the war. We shall draw from the heart of suffering itself the means of inspiration and survival. War is a game that is played with a smile. If you can't smile, grin. If you can't grin, keep out of the way till you can. When the war of the giants is over, the wars of the pygmies will begin. Too often the strong, silent man is silent only because he does not know what to say, and is reputed strong only because he has remained silent. We shall show mercy, but we shall not ask for it. if the human race wishes to have a prolonged and indefinite period of material prosperity, they have only got to behave in a peaceful and helpful way toward one another. It is always wise to look ahead, but difficult to look further than you can see. It is a mistake to look too far ahead. Only one link of the chain of destiny can be handled at a time. A prisoner of war is a man who tries to kill you and fails, and then asks you not to kill him. There are two things that are more difficult than making an after-dinner speech: climbing a wall which is leaning toward you, and kissing a girl who is leaning away from you. Ending a sentence with the preposition is something up with which I will not put. A politician needs the ability to foretell what is going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year, and to have the ability afterwards to explain why it didn't happen. Before Alamein we never had a victory. After Alamein we never had a defeat. It was the nation and the race dwelling all round the globe that had the lion's heart. I had the luck to be called upon to give the roar. Study history, study history. In history lies all the secrets of statecraft. It has been said that democracy is the worst form of government except all the others that have been tried. Everyone has his day, and some days last longer than others. It is more agreeable to have the power to give than to receive. A state of society where men may not speak their minds cannot long endure. In war, you can only be killed once, but in politics, many times. There are a terrible lot of lies going about the world, and the worst of it is that half of them are true. Men occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of them pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing had happened. No comment is a splendid expression. I am using it again and again. Healthy citizens are the greatest asset any country can have. Short words are best, and the old words, when short, are best of all. Politics is the ability to foretell what is going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year, and to have the ability afterwards to explain why it didn't happen. The power of an air force is terrific when there is nothing to oppose it. We are stripped bare by the curse of plenty. Do not let spacious plans for a new world divert your energies from saving what is left of the old. We are asking the nations of Europe, between whom rivers of blood have flowed, to forget the feuds of 1,000 years. Battles are won by slaughter and maneuver. The greater the general, the more he contributes in maneuver, the less he demands in slaughter. Broadly speaking, the short words are the best, and the old words best of all. Man will occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of the time he will pick himself up and continue on. For good or for ill, air mastery is today the supreme expression of military power, and fleets and armies, however vital and important, must accept a subordinate rank. The short words are best, and the old words are the best of all. We occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of us pick ourselves up and hurry off as if nothing had happened. No part of the education of a politician is more indispensable than the fighting of elections. It is a fine game to play, the game of politics, and it is well worth waiting for a good hand before really plunging. The problems of victory are more agreeable than those of defeat, but they are no less difficult. The British nation is unique in this respect. They are the only people who like to be told how bad things are, who like to be told the worst. The power of man has grown in every sphere, except over himself. These are not dark days, these are great days, the greatest days our country has ever lived. If you go on with this nuclear arms race, all you are going to do is make the rubble bounce. Nothing can be more abhorrent to democracy than to imprison a person or keep him in prison because he is unpopular. This is really the test of civilization. Politics is almost as exciting as war, and quite as dangerous. In war you can only be killed once, but in politics many times. We do not covet anything from any nation, except their respect. In war as in life, it is often necessary when some cherished scheme has failed, to take up the best alternative open, and if so, it is folly not to work for it with all your might. No idea is so outlandish that it should not be considered with a searching, but at the same time a steady eye. The great defense against the air menace is to attack the enemy's aircraft as near as possible to their point of departure. The reserve of modern assertions is sometimes pushed to extremes, in which the fear of being contradicted leads the writer to strip himself of almost all sense and meaning. In those days, he was wiser than he is now. He used to frequently take my advice. Politics are very much like war. We may even have to use poison gas at times. When you are winning a war, almost everything that happens can be claimed to be right and wise. If you have an important point to make, don't try to be subtle or clever. Use a pile driver. Hit the point once. Then come back and hit it again. Then hit it a third time, a tremendous whack. Some people regard private enterprise as a predatory tiger to be shot. Others look on it as a cow they can milk. Not enough people see it as a healthy horse pulling a sturdy wagon.